and welcome to this edition of Mint Elections. With the countdown to the results of the state assembly elections having begun, we here at Mint discuss the possible scenarios and their implications. And to take this discussion forward, I have with me in the studio Anil Padmanabhan, the Deputy Managing Editor, Mint. Anil, thank you for joining us. That is Liz Matthew right next to him. She is the Deputy Bureau Chief of the Political Bureau. And I have Siddharth Singh, who is the head of the Views team at Mint. Thank you all for joining us today for the discussion. Anil, let's start with a very simple question. Why are these state elections really important?
For several reasons, but primarily because it will give us a dipstick into the way the nation is thinking. So anecdotally, we do know that there's a massive anti-Congress sentiment across the country, and these elections would in many ways reaffirm. Secondly, it happens to coincide in the core of the electoral footprint of the BJP. So it will also give us a sense about whether this BJP is poised to take advantage of this anti-Congress sentiment or not.
Okay. Liz, what would you say? You have gone and covered on the ground situation in states like Madhya Pradesh. You visited Chhattisgarh, other areas as well. You've seen the trend in Delhi. What is your sense?
See, just like Anil said, it is just immediately ahead of Lok Sabha elections. So it actually gives what exactly people think about the parties. Here again, the main contenders were BJP and the Congress. So who are going to fight this general election also. Like it will be mainly of course the regional parties. I'm not ruling out the kind of importance they have in the national elections, but primarily this election will be between the BJP and the Congress. So the voters had expressed what do they think about these two parties and their reaction to the policies and their the way the functioning of the government, the governance and the agenda, the policies, everything. So this is kind of litmus test for both of them, and also nationally people look at look up to this election as a kind of semi-final ahead of the national election.
True that, especially keeping in mind, Siddharth, that of the 4 states for which results are expected, 2 are currently being ruled by the Congress party and the other by the opposition, the BJP party. When I say opposition, obviously at the national level. What is it that you are watching here closely? What is it that would interest you in terms of trends that emerge from the state elections?
Well, obviously it's a kind of a prelude to the general election next year, and given the kind of economic disarray that India has found itself in over the past 4 or 5 years, people across sectors like business and citizens in general, they are keen to see which way the wind blows, and obviously business interests are very keen to get some sense of clarity that which way the country will move, which way, like anywhere, they want, because a large number of projects have been held up, there is no clarity on economic policy making. Those are the kind of issues that one would be interested in watching.
Right, Siddharth. Let's also now focus on what the different exit poll results have shown. We look at them and we see that the anti-incumbency wave, Anil, is more profound in the case of the states being ruled by the Congress government. But if we look at what the BJP ruled states show, it shows that they might be able to hold their position still. How would you look into the exit polls?
If indeed the exit polls do prove correct and Congress is eased out of both Rajasthan and Delhi, they are actually telling us 2 things. One, it reiterates a trend we have seen from 2003, where incumbent regimes with good governance records have been re-elected. And in this case, both these regimes have been faulted for failure to deliver good governance. And on top of that, their central government, which is again Congress-led, has completely misperformed. And that has been a double anti-incumbency as far as these 2 state governments go. So in many ways, if they do lose, and they do lose office, they have to demit office, in that case it reiterates a trend which is actually a very healthy trend, that the voters in this country vote for good governance.
Right. Liz, what would you say from your ground experience?
Yeah, from the travels I have made mainly in Chhattisgarh, I travel more than 5 days in Chhattisgarh and in Madhya Pradesh. The one feeling I have seen among the people, I have sensed that they are not very happy with the the incumbent MLA or something. But in these two states, they were very happy with the chief minister. The chief ministers of these two states, which are Dr. Raman Singh and Shivraj Singh Chauhan of Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh, they were like extremely popular, and their policies were widely accepted. Although there was some kind of complaints or upset among some people, as a certain section of people towards the BJP as a whole, but the personalities, these two personalities actually held the party there.
Then, Liz, I would like to ask you, they have very strong chief ministerial leaders there for which the people are likely to vote, as you say, if they go for. Would it then be fair to extrapolate it into a BJP phenomena, saying, BJP is done well because it is largely a local thing then?
The anti-incumbency against the central government would play out then. But when it comes to policies, these people at the ground level, they are very happy, especially with the welfare measures rolled out by these two governments. When it comes to Raman Singh, Dr. Raman Singh, his food scheme, the rice at 1 rupee, the rice at 2 rupee for the poor, that has done extremely well, and the PDS system functions very effectively there. One thing in Chhattisgarh you will notice, even if you travel in Bastar region where the Naxal Maoist rebellion is here, there also the PDS, you can see long queues before the PDS shops, and people are very happy with the, nobody complains. They don't complain about the quality of the food grain they are getting. They are extremely happy with the PDS system. In Madhya Pradesh, Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan has rolled out certain programs for Muslims. So most of the Muslims talk about it. There again, the Muslims are not very happy with BJP at the national level, the policy. They are more than unhappiness, I think they are scared. But towards Shivraj Singh Chauhan, there is nothing like that. So the same way, the schemes he has rolled out for, or he has initiated for the youth, for the skill development scheme,
well.
which is it is just started, and the scheme for the girl child, it has done extremely well. So there is an overall satisfaction, among the people towards these two governments.
Anil, do you think BJP will be able to sustain this momentum? There are 6 months still to go for the national elections. Do you think Congress could now revive some of its confidence, so to say? How crucial will these 6 months in the run-up to the elections be?
Oh, very crucial. In fact, you summed it up very rightly. It's not just what the BJP can sustain from this point, it is what the Congress is able to do to mitigate the damage that they have suffered or will suffer as the exit polls project. The BJP has to keep up the momentum, which is primarily, it has created a narrative around Narendra Modi as the campaign. But the thing is that so far Narendra Modi has got away with selling generalities like aspirations as opposed to the Congress campaign on class. But while the Congress campaign is focused on specifics about how they have delivered in helping the class war through their affirmative action and through their entitlement regime. But in the case of BJP, they have just sold the promise of matching the aspirations of the youth of this country. But now onwards, I think they'll have to shift the narrative to real specifics, because the electorate will give them one pass, but they're not going to give them 2 passes. So from now to the next general election, they have the task cut out that they have to create a narrative around specifics, and the Congress has to do its own damage control. The Congress fails to get its act together, then I think it's going to be a runaway for the BJP.
The other phenomena that's being watched out for is the AAP party, the Aam Aadmi party. How well do they actually perform in Delhi? How would you say that could play out eventually?
Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi, obviously, it was a new experiment, and people reacted so far very positively to it. The kind of turnout Delhi has witnessed yesterday is, I think the credit has to go to Aam Aadmi Party. And if you talk to anybody, people will say that there was kind of a apathy of this urban class towards the election. I mean, this the agitation, the mass movement which was initiated by Anna Hazare and later which was kind of taken over by Arvind Kejriwal, it has actually helped the urban population, especially the youth, to seek kind of accountability. They all of a sudden they became more sensible about their rights, I mean, especially the voting rights, and they realize that they have a say in the days coming. To Aam Aadmi Party has promised certain things, which is some things are at today's scenario. It seems very difficult, but you have to wait and see how they are going to play out.
Talking about turnouts, Siddharth, how are you looking at the turnout figures? All the states that have gone to polls have shown very good turnout figures, anywhere ranging. Delhi did a record 65.13, then we've got 72.6 for Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan at 75 and Chhattisgarh at 77.
I'd step back and take a look at it from a broader perspective. Generally, there is democratic apathy across the world, especially in democracies. Voter turnouts are low. People don't feel connected to the representatives. For India, it's a break. If you look at the last general election, the overall voting percentage was 59%. Of course, with 4 states, one can't extrapolate across India. But I think this upsurge from that point of view is a revival of democratic faith. And it's not only because of AAP in Delhi. Even within conventional parties, mainstream parties, the numbers speak something else. Now, there may be different reasons for it. There may be a youth bulge which is voting in mass. There might be other reasons that people who have been so apathetic so far, they are also coming out to vote and exercise their right. In general, this is a positive development for democracy.
Okay, keeping the background then of the national elections in mind, Anil, what would you say should the viewers actually be looking out for in terms of cues from the outcomes of these state elections?
One, they have to look whether there's a clear mandate. See whether this anti-Congress wave is there or not there. I think that would be the first signal that they should take. And the second they have to look for is whether this is not yet a pro-BJP wave. Okay, it is, and I won't say like in Rajasthan it's a pro-BJP wave, but not across these 4 states. So we need to see whether that shift has begun to happen, that the BJP has begun to monetize anti-incumbency against Congress in its advantage. Second, I think they should definitely look at the first signals of how Modi's campaign has influenced, not so much in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, where BJP has its own equally big rock stars, but I would look at its impact in Rajasthan particularly, where they are supposed to pull away to a record win. So there Modi factor would be visible, and so in Delhi if they are able to pull off another win in Delhi. Third, I think I would look at the first time voter, how they have reacted, what is the narrative that appealed to them.
What about you, Liz?
I think people will be looking at Modi as well as the BJP because still there are some things to be organized in the BJP. These elections could be because of their anger towards the Congress government and a kind of appreciation for what the state governments have done. At nationally, what the BJP is going to do, whether their leaders are going to be united and it is going to be a cohesive force, and whether Modi will be able to address the issues. And I think people will be looking to, in Congress side, people will be looking up to Rahul Gandhi, who has not yet shown that kind of quote unquote leadership qualities to take the party, to keep the party together.
So that, would you like to talk about what not to watch out for?
Well, I would think that in a way I would like to watch what Modi has. Is he going to say anything specific? Because as Anil said that he's only spoken about generalities. I think he's going to come under more scrutiny. So that would be one point to watch. I would not watch his popularity and his the so to speak the hype about him, but what does he have to say? I think that's the thing to be watched. As to the Congress, it'll be interesting to see how, in case they do badly, how do they react to the situation? Are they able to take any kind of course correction? But I suspect that it's too late for them to, in case they do badly, it'll be a bit late for them to do any kind of course correction, because these things, they take time.
Okay, with that, let's wrap up this discussion. Thank you so much for your inputs. But this is not all from livemint.com. There is much more that you can check out on our website, especially our interactive election map, which will help you determine or see how your constituency or your candidates are doing, instead of the TV channels determining what you should watch. So do look out for more here at livemint.com/elections.